Jamar.
What's going on YouTube?
Washington.
This is boy Marty 4 here once again. Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Jamar 4 here once again, and we're here to review episode, what is this, 2? Season 2 of How to Get Away with Murder. And just like I said in my previous Scandal review, which should definitely be up by now. I know these are relatively late, but hopefully I'll be able to get these out sooner than later. Anyway, if y'all hear crunching and munching in the background, that's my dog Rufus. So just ignore that. So the episode starts off again with this flashback of this mansion to this shot. And, you know, Wes was running and whatnot. But then we see all the other students are actually at the mansion as well. And they're all crazy, hectic. They're trying to, you know, they're panicking. They're worried about the cops coming. I'm like, okay, I'm going to assume this is how the season ends. But I guess we're trying to figure out, okay, how do we get up to this point, you know? So I'm like, okay, so now we know that not only was Wes there, but all the other students are there. So like piecing together this puzzle. I'm like, okay, cool. We'll see how this goes. So the students are just trying to debate if whether or not they want to go to the meeting of, you know, Mr. Leahy, Nate, the guy who's on trial for the murder. And one guy, I guess what's his name? Asher, I believe is his name. He's like the oblivious one, the one from Orange is the New Black. And, you know, they're all trying to be like, well, I want to go. Don't tell me. And they're like, don't try to see like you don't really want to go. And then he walks in and it's like, well, what are you trying to do? And they're trying to like not keep him informed. I'm not sure why. I guess they don't trust him. Really, actually, I do know why they don't trust him, because of what he did in this episode. But he, you know, walks in and inside blah 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 blah. Sometimes the brain just be moving too fast, the mouth can't keep up. They're trying to go to this hearing, but they don't want to say, you know, to him what actually happened, because I don't think he knows about the whole being framed thing, that Nate's actually being framed. So instead, I forget the boy's name, the little cute white boy. He instead feels like, okay, well, that's not what we're talking about. We're actually talking about the fact that my boyfriend has HIV and I'm going to have sex with him, but he says that I can't because my PrEP hasn't started working yet. And I'm just like, that's your alternative? That's where you go? That's the only thing you could think of to fill that space with? Damn. And everybody else was just like, and then his ass gonna go be like, what? You're gonna have sex with him? Like, you could like die. Shonda Rhimes, I have such a love-hate relationship with these scenes about HIV, because I love them because they show the sort of public opinion and outlook that people outside, you know, the community think about it. I like that this is, you know, showcasing that, but at the same time, it's the fact that they're so ignorant and it hurts me. It just bothers me to see people just be like, so, like, he's almost extremely dumb. Like, I don't know. His whole outlook on it made it seem like, but I'm glad that we're talking about it. That's the good part. We're talking about it. We're showing, you know, how things happen in real life, you know. But his character just is so I just can't. But we get to this court, and so Annalise is called to the stand, okay? And well, before she's called to the stand, the prosecutor, I forget her name, they mentioned her as Mrs. Such and Such. We're just going to call her the prosecutor. The prosecutor says that her and old girl from Netflix, I don't know what to call her because I don't know her name either. Shit. Long-haired lady. We was going to call her the long-haired lady. She was like, well, I know that the long-haired lady and Annalise actually know each other. And the judge is like, okay, what's your point here? It's like, well, she neglected to know that information. I feel like, you know, they could, you know, skew the trial in a way. There could be, you know, some sort of, you know, misjudgment here. And long-haired lady was like, well, yeah, I know her. We went to Harvard Law together along with my other 1,500 classmates. So, like, what's your point? And she really didn't have any evidence. I mean, it's not like it was public, documented knowledge that they were fucking in the past, doing this whole thing here. So she was like, okay, we knew each other. What's your point? You know? So she was trying to insinuate, oh, well, she must have been in on the fact that Annalise tried to kill her husband. And then everybody's like talking and taking pictures, and she's just like, and I'm like, this bitch, this prosecutor is really at this point working my nerves, and I'm just like, okay. She's like that little rat that keep gnawing at you and just annoying you, or a gnat. That's what I meant to say, not rat. So Annalise is then called to the stand by the prosecution, whatever, and is asking all types of questions. So, is it true that you had sex with with Mr. Leahy the night of your husband's murder? And how did you guys meet? And she was like, at a bar. Just like, did you have sex with him that same night? And she was like, I think she said no. And he was like, well, Mr. Leahy says that y'all fucked the same night that you met. And it's just going into this whole big thing. And I'm just like, and at least it's like, look, Judge, what relevancy does this have? Like, this bitch about to make me punch her the fuck out. Like, she about to make me jump over this goddamn witness stand and drop her ass. Like, I have respect for your courtroom, but me and her, we about to go down. Like, she trying me. That's how it felt like in her hand. But of course, she couldn't say it. She had to say it in political terms and political jargon. And adjust this camera real quick. And see, here's the thing about How to Get Away with Murder: the fact that the show literally bounces from different scenes back and forth kind of make it hard to go through in like a timeline. Is you kind of want to just cover the whole thing, but it's almost like if you cover the whole thing, then you have to jump back anyway. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. But just bear with me, y'all. Just bear with me because I do really enjoy the show. So they're in the courtroom, and here's the thing. I think next time I'm gonna look up these bitches' names because I don't want to call them black chick, white lady with long hair, and white pretty boy. Like I can't never remember their names. They don't say them too often. Like I know Annalise and I know Wes because they use their names often. The other ones not so much. But oh Lord, the dog trying to tell me he needs to go out. We'll go out in the set room. Anywho, the black lady who's held on the phone that has the eggs 911 on it, her and the white pretty boy are in the courtroom, and some guy randomly walks up and is like, hey, my phone's dead. Can I use one of you guys' phone? And immediately I knew like this is the dude. This is the eggs 911 dude. Because the fact that he just came up randomly trying to use one of your phones, and then he looked directly at the black girl like he knew. Damn dog, the damn door. That means I gotta wrap this up. That means that he knew that was her. So I'm like, okay, he knows who she is. I guess I don't know if eggs is some kind of code for okay. When Rebecca was texting him like, "Hey, I'm about to get captured." I don't know. We don't know that yet, but I feel like he knew exactly who she was. And so next, Bonnie brings the reports about the kid's DNA. That the guy that was on trial, him and his sister were on trial for their parents' murder, said his DNA was found at the crime scene, and she made the comment like, you only bring problems but never solutions. I'm like, yeah, Bonnie's gonna be on her shit list for a long time because the fact that she killed Rebecca, and she's not gonna let her live that down for a long time. So she's gonna be, blackmailed until further notice. Oh baby, but you did kind of kill a bitch. She's like, oh, well, I was trying to do it to protect you, but still, bitch, that was kind of a bit much. You could have just held her captive longer. If you were worried about her going to the police, why not just hold her longer in captive? I don't understand it. But, so they find out that I guess if the DNA is true, then they figure that the sister lied, but they want to get, confirmation that she lied. So Wes offers up to be, I don't even want to call him a scapegoat. But he says, okay, well, I'll go in and talk to her, trying to get her to talk and, admit things. People trust me, and they ain't going to trust the rest of you bitches. And Annalise agreed and said, okay, you go ahead and go. So he goes in and he asks her, different kind of questions, trying to make it seem like he wasn't really supposed to be there. But she's like, well, since I'm here, we'll just have casual conversation. And he pretty much tells her like, yeah, the DNA was found, and she's like, he was found. Like, does he know? Like, oh my god, and she's like, well, I mean, if you're telling the truth, then your story is gonna still stand out. And so she just made it seem like she was lying. She just had egg all over her face, and I'm just like, oh bitch, you're caught. So what's the real deal? Where are we? So we go back to the courtroom. And the prosecution is still laying on them questions about, Annalise and the guy's affairs. And so she's like, so, is it true that you and your husband had a fight the night that he was killed? And she was like, yes. And like, what did it get violent? What was wrong? And she was like, well, he was found cheating with, the girl named Lila. And she's like, wouldn't that be enough for, you to be angry? Like, wouldn't that be enough for you to get violent or something like that? And Annalise just starts going off. She's like, look, bitch. Judge, again, love you. I have respect for you in this courtroom, but this bitch here is trying it. Okay? And she turns to him and was like, bitch, don't nobody in here even give too much of a fuck about you or have any lick of respect for you because of this bullshit that you were trying to accuse me of. I'm not the one on trial here. You're supposed to be, I'm supposed to be your fucking witness, but you sit here asking me all these questions trying to pin this shit on me when there's not enough evidence on me, bitch. And she just went completely off. And then the prosecutor's like, oh, that's quite a temper you have there, Miss Keating. It seems like you're well capable of murder. And I'm just like, you giving this shit away, girl. Now she's gonna try to pin this shit again. I'm just like, oh my god, what is this gonna evolve to? Like, how is this gonna play itself out? So they get to this scene where they were all, I forget what the students were talking about initially, but they were all communicating, and Oliver walks in, the white pretty boy's boyfriend, and they're all like, hey, how you doing? And then Asher, the Orange is the New Black guy, then got up and just, it was painful to watch. It really was. He was sitting there like saying, Philadelphia is my favorite movie, and I just want to let you know that you're brave for what you're going through, and all this other stuff. Just basically making old dude feel uncomfortable as fuck. Like, okay. And then he realizes that dude told him, and he was like, oh, bitch, you tried it. That's so fucked up. That is like one of the most confidential, secrets between a person. Like I know that you're not even really required to tell anybody about your status unless you're having sex with them. That's the only time when you're supposed to disclose that. But just even to friends and family, they don't have to know. If you're not fucking them, you don't have to tell them. They don't really have that right to know. So the fact that you would just take that kind of, take that power away from them, so now you out there spilling their business, that's fucked up, So he's already pissed at his ass. And then we go back to the court being. I told you this thing bounces back and forth. We back at court, and let me see. Hold on, wait. Let me make sure I got my notes right. The guy, Mr. Leahy, is like, so he's not going to lie on the stand, pretty much. He said, you're not really making this situation no better for me. And if I wanted to, I can get up on that stand and tell what's really going on. The fact that both of y'all know each other, the fact that I'm being framed, and the fact that you know about it. And I could blow this whole shit out of water. And what happens is, well, as far as the separate case goes, it's separate from the court thing. Back to the siblings and whatnot. They found out that there were actually 2 DNA reports made. One that did not find the brother's DNA at the crime scene, and then there's one that his DNA is found. So they're like, well, why would they have to print 2 DNAs? Because they planted that shit. Like, goddamn police. Apparently this is the Philadelphia police. And let's see. Oh, yeah, back in the courtroom, since, the guy had approached his lawyers like, look, if you don't figure this shit out, I'm going to just tell all the team. So what she does, long-haired white lady, what she does is she pretty much spills it all on Annalise too. She puts it out there. So, are you a good liar? I feel like you framed my client. And did you have somebody else, plan his? Did you kill your husband? Did you have somebody else plan his DNA? And she went in, like she just spilled everything. Annalise was just sitting there looking at her like, "Oh, this bitch is trying it." Like, if you thought we weren't gonna be bumping coochies no more before, then we definitely ain't gonna be bumping coochies now, bitch. You done sat here and claimed for me in front of all these people, spilling all my TNT. Oh, bitch, fuck you. That was what she was going on in her mind. This is what it sounded like. So, the judge pretty much says, so since the prosecution made it confusing as to who was actually on trial here, even though it was supposed to be Mr. Leahy, but it seemed like all the prosecution was trying to pin the whole thing on, Miss Keating. I don't know who's on trial here, so if that's the case, then I feel like, Mr. Leahy's free to go. Like, there's not enough evidence for him or to charge Miss Keating, so we're through here. Bangs the gavel. And the prosecution is just like, oh, fuck. Didn't know what the damn egg on her face. And, everybody's happy and whatnot. All is good. Then we pan over to the two boyfriends. So he's like, so I want to, I think we should make it even. I feel like if you say something to hurt me, then that will kind of make up for the fact that I just blabbermouthed about your status. So he was like, so how did you get it? And the guy was like, well, basically, after you cheated on me, I was distraught. I couldn't get out of bed. And all my friends said, well, why don't you go out? Why don't you go have fun? Why don't you go do something? And he was like, well, I went to this bar, had a lot of shots, and went home with this guy. We fucked, and I got HIV. Classic stories. Like, that's my sad story. So, but then he was like, well, I feel like it's my fault then. Like, because if I never cheated, then you would never have gotten drunk, and you would have never happened. So he started blaming himself, and I'm just like, well, I mean, you could think of it that way. You could think of it like a domino effect. But at the same time, he was like, well, I also had the option not to go out, or butterfly effect, just different stuff, different factors that could have prevented different events from happening. But he blames himself, and I'm like, oh well. I mean, in that situation, if you want to put it like that, then yeah, it is your fault. But the second to last thing that's we're gonna talk about is the fact that when long-haired lady and Annalise got back together, Annalise was trying to, she was trying to come to apologize because she know that what she did in the courtroom was kind of fucked up. Like, she came for her, like, hard. And Annalise was like, you know what, all's forgiven. Yep, I'm good. That type of I'm good that most females get when they mad at their boyfriend and they know that they really pissed off, but they don't want to seem like they pissed off. That's what she was doing. And she's like, look, no, we better have this conversation now. Like, you is not about to sit here and try to push me off. And so Annalise was like, why did you do that? Why did you come for me? Why did you say all the shit that you knew was going to hurt me? Like, I know you had to pin it on me to get him, to put it off of him. And I know they don't have enough evidence to charge me. But it was just the fact that how you said it, bitch. I looked into your eyes. And you sat there and just went off on me, bitch. And I'm just like, oh, gosh. She was mad. She felt that. She felt that shit was personal as fuck. And so she was like, well, I'm still in love with you. And, I hate that I can't be with you. And even though I've been with countless other women and I buried myself in work, you're just the best thing that ever happened to me. And I just can't have you. And it just makes me sick. I don't hate you, but I just hate the fact that we can't be together. And that whole spiel. And Annalise was like, oh my God, you were the most beautiful thing that ever happened to me. They kiss, and then they start doing this. All night long. I'm just like, okay, Annalise, get some. Everybody fucking Annalise. And she was getting some from the black guy. She was getting some from the white guy. Now she's getting something from the white lady. I'm like, shoot, wait, who's she missing? Yeah, and all she needs to do is have sex with with a black woman, and she'll have all the shades and genders covered. She already had sex with the white lady, and the white man was her husband. And she already had sex with the black man. All she needed is another black girl, and she didn't got a full set. And at least must got that ill nah, but I ain't mad at you, girl. I ain't mad at you at all. But the last scene is another flashback to the actual murder scene when she got shot And we see that also the prosecutor that was in this court case was sitting here with her fucking head bashed in lit on the ground. I'm like, oh shit, what is going on? What is all involved in this crime scene? Like her head was bashed in like she was a zombie on the motherfucking Walking Dead. I'm just like, oh my god. But that was episode 2 of season 2 of How to Get Away with Murder. This shit's getting, it's building up. It's getting good. I guess we're gonna try to build up at this whole moment where Annalise is shot. I think that's gonna be the season finale.
It's 9 o'clock.
Thank you, bitch. I was just about to end the video, but you just couldn't help yourself, could you? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys will continue to watch, share, like, comment. Tell me what you thought of the episode. Tell me what you think this whole flashback thing is about, because I'm still trying to figure this shit out. But and like again, I swear I've been trying to talk to y'all, but it shit just don't be coming out right. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.
Like, share, subscribe.